Welcome back to the Norfolk Squirrel channel. This feeder had been empty for probably 3 months because I had other things to do. This is 1 week after I refilled it, and already there were 4 squirrels on it. A week later I went back, and this is the session that I had. Believe it or not, I missed this squirrel. The reason being that if you look in the top right hand corner, it says D4 33 yards. I'd forgotten to reset the ballistic calculator. The next squirrel, you'll see it says 19 yards. No problems then. Couldn't believe I missed this squirrel. I had a good scan around with the scope, then left the hide to go and look for it. Still, these things happen from time to time. It was only after I put a target up on the tree that I realised what I'd done. But here you can see it now says D4 19 yards. I'd reset the ballistic calculator to the correct distance. No mistake with that squirrel, straight down. For a change, I'm using my BSA Ultra for this day's session. Don't normally use it. I prefer to use that when I'm ratting, and I use my FX Impact FAC when I'm shooting the squirrels. Mainly because I sometimes will have to take much longer shots if I can see the squirrels sitting on branches or whatever further back into the wood. The Ultra is quite heavily modified. It was originally a JSR, which is normally only 6 foot-pounds. When I got the rifle, it had been played around with very badly, so I rejigged it, changed the transfer port to one that I had left over from my R10, fitted a humour regulator, an AirTech titanium tube, and fortunately it already had a humour shroud on it. It's a incredibly accurate little rifle. So good in fact that I have actually shot rabbits to over 80 yards with it. Now that's in sub 12 177 using the ballistic calculator on the HIC Micro Alpex 4K. It wasn't exactly busy during the morning. The squirrels weren't turning up very often, and I wasn't seeing them in the thermal further back in the wood. I think they had been in quite early, had a feed, then possibly went for a little lie down. Anyway, around midday they started coming back again, and there was a little flurry of squirrels. Then it went quiet again during the afternoon. But all told, turned out to be a good session. come on, fall off. Don't want to go out again. The lure of a peanut always overcomes their natural caution. Although it was just seemed to be curious as to why the other squirrels were just lying around. Tail wasn't flicking, so it wasn't agitated at all. Just curious, I suppose. I'd lined up just in case I needed to take a second shot, but certainly dead. First shot. This squirrel came down the tree only 3 or 4 minutes after I'd shot the other one, but you can tell from its tail that it's definitely a bit agitated. Not too sure what to do. Under these circumstances, I prefer to wait for the squirrel to get up on the feeder. They're just too flighty. They'll move their heads without giving you any notice, just as you want to pull the trigger. It's far better just to wait until they settle down. Feeder is obviously the best place for them to be. Sometimes they'll settle down when they're coming down a trunk like this, particularly if they've actually seen you in the hide. Then they just freeze. Then you've got a reasonable chance of shooting them. But as you can see here, it's all over the place. It really isn't happy. I could have cut this sequence short, but I think it's good seeing just how patient you sometimes have to be. I'm in a very good hide. It can't see me, but it's just seen another squirrel shot. Doesn't know what's going on. It's being ultra cautious, ultra irritating. But eventually it comes over to the feeder and gives me a decent shot. This looks more promising. Well, had to wait a while for that one, but it froze just too long, at least from its point of view anyway. Stuck its neck out too much there. This is the third squirrel that came down from the treetops. In this particular wood, they don't often do that. They spend a lot of time on the floor, and most times they come to the feeder across the floor. Could be because they're covering a long distance. They often prefer to come through the treetops if they're coming a couple of 100 yards or so. Not sure what that was flying overhead. Helicopter of some sort. We got a training base at Norwich Airport, and also the helicopters come in from the North Sea rigs, and there's quite often a lot of Royal Air Force activity as well. Plus, from time to time, the American Air Force. Looks like he's been fattening up on my peanuts. Well, that was my Labrador Stella welcoming my wife home. She often does that. Vocal little girl sometimes. It's one of those should I or shouldn't I moments. Will it go on the peanuts? Will it stay where it is? Well, that one's definitely dead. No movement at all. If you get the pellet in the right place, that's what happens. It's best to get it between the eye and the ear. You're definitely into the main part of the brain box then. As in that case. Front end's floppy, back end's kicking around quite a bit. That's pretty common. Still stone dead really. As you can see, I did go out earlier and pick up all the squirrels I'd shot. There was one that I wasn't too sure about whether it was still alive. As it happened, it wasn't, but better be safe than sorry. They may be vermin to us, but they deserve to be humanely killed. Just emptying the magazine. A little bit of practice never goes awry. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the 13 squirrels that made up the baker's dozen. See you next time.